Welcome everyone. Today we have a new Path of Exile gold farming and also gold earning guide. Now I think I'm at a really good point to make this video because I have made about 50 million gold, 50 million gold in the past 2 days. And I want to teach you guys how to do this and what are the costs, what are the method behind it. So I have spent the time to write a detailed written guide, which I think will be the best way to help you guys. And I try to break things down into the early game for additional gold income, the mid game and also late game. And what are the ways of getting additional gold? There are ways that you can be selling gold runs to players, making tons of divines and also profit that is actually really good and very underrated. Most players don't know. I have friends who earn about 100 to 200 divine a day just by selling gold runs, and I pay a lot of divines in buying those runs. There's also different omens of battering and also omens of gambling, which we'll talk about, which can also provide you with additional gold. Together with method to juice up the maps to earn 1.4 to 2 million gold per run in Castaway, you can either be selling those runs to other players or just making tons of gold by juicing up your own Castaway runs. And I'll teach you guys exactly how, together with the links and also the additional information as to what are the tower tablets you're looking for, and also what are the modifiers for the desecrated modifiers that can increase your chance and boost the amount of gold you can earn. Just to give you guys a brief teaser over here, in this particular run, we earned 1.8 million gold. You can see there's gold on the floor everywhere. And as I move around, there's just gold everywhere. I opened up my tab over here a little late, but after the entire round, we earned 1.8 million. I have earned over 2 million gold in one round before. You can see this is gold all over the map. I'll now teach you guys how to juice up those maps and how to make those rounds possible. And that is very rewarding. And finally, there's additional things I want to share with you guys in terms of, juicing up the maps, and also additional tips in terms of if you do plan to run Castaway runs, there are some things that can ruin a run. So I'm going to give you tips on when to revive, how to play it, and as a host, how would you want to play it to avoid destroying the entire run for everyone and losing gold for everyone. Now, so what I recommend is coming over to this written guide. Everything is written in nice details, and you can use our previous guide and also links available in the written guide to see additional information. I did try to research a bit about all the ways of making gold in Path of Exile 2, so let's get into it. And yes, before I jump in, I guess, you might be wondering, hey Matt, how come you spent the time and also divines in getting 50 million gold just for this video? No, so I'm a hideout trader. I use exchange, I use different tradings. I sell a lot of items over here, as you can see, a variety of different items, and it costs a lot of gold to do those things. I want to make a video to teach you guys about doing those methods of earning currency, but firstly, I need to teach you guys how to make gold. And while making the gold, it is also a way of selling those runs to make even more divines. So it's a double benefit. So this is a part 1 of the 2-part video. First part is how to get more gold. Second part is how to spend gold to earn even more divines. So I've earned over like thousands of divines using the gold. That's why I keep buying the gold. Now, so there's various ways of earning gold. So let's come over to the brief summary. What I'll do is let's come over to the first part as to list of ways to earn more gold. Now, I have to be honest with you guys, there's definitely other ways or bugs or abuses, but we're not trying to abuse anything. We try to earn gold honestly, and this is actually very rewarding because you need gold for respecting, you need gold for refounding passives, atlas trees, you need gold for gambling, or maybe using the exchange, or just buying items instantly will cost you gold. So let's have a look at the basic ways of earning gold healthily. In the early game, when I first start the league or the season, I tend to be selling unwanted rare items. I know it's very popular to be turning those items into disenchantment over here with the NPC, and you just throw in your items and this will give you rather regular shard, and sometimes if you go with the unique items, it will give you chance shard. And a lot of players do this naturally without thinking. But what I recommend is, in the early stage of the game, a lot of players runs out of gold. So I tend to be selling weapons which provide the most gold for selling those items, and the non-weapon items I will disenchant them for the regular shard. And around level 40, I was sitting at about 20 regular orbs and also over 100,000 gold. And that is a pretty good for the day 1. So this is very minimal, but it will help you to get started in every season. Now, unique items are not worth selling, and it is better to disenchant them for chance shard, which can be converted into chance orbs that sells for more divines or sells more exalts. But sometimes unique item can sell for quite a bit, so let's have a look at the price of those items. I'll have a demonstration. This chest piece is about 2,900, the shield is 4,300 because it's corrupted and have a lot of modifiers. The weapon is not the best example, usually weapons do sell for a little more, but this one doesn't have all the FXs and the level is a little lower. Finally, unique items do sell for a fair price, but not a lot. What determines the gold selling amount for the rare items is how many FX they have and also the item level, and finally the item type. So I guess usually, let's say if I were to break it down, I might be selling the shield and also the chest piece, and the weapon I'll disenchant it. It's a little opposite to what I showed over here, but you do want to check the exact gold amount before selling or disenchanting it. Because if you come over to the disenchantment NPC, they keep the same item. This gives 2 regular shot. I believe this gives 3 regular. Actually, this actually gives 2 regular shot. So you do want to check. This only gives 1 regular shot. So in that sense, I'll salvage this. I'll probably consider salvaging this or not. And then this one I'll definitely sell. So that is just the basic min and max in the early game. Now I'm sure you guys know about this, and I guess it's a little late in this season to talk about it, but I want to have a holistic guide. So this is why we spent a little time on the early game. Now, I have also heard that buying rare items from the expedition NPCs and then selling it for gold can also work. But personally, I've skipped all my expeditions while mapping, so I don't have the currencies. But I'll show you guys the method I heard of. So if you come over to the NPCs, they do sell rare items, and sometimes for those rare items, players might be buying them with the expedition currency and then reselling them just for gold. It is not the most efficient method, but it is a method that can be, I guess, somewhat help you with gold in the early game. Now, as we come over to the mid to late game, we can be selling unwanted and not expensive modifying maps. Unwanted maps is when you have enough maps to be mapping and you can self-fulfill your maps so you don't run out of maps. Not expensive maps, a lot of players will be buying certain effects on the maps like pack size and certain rare monster modifiers. They won't be buying those for exalt. And if your map is expensive, you better sell to the players instead of to the vendors. But if it's unwanted and it's not a great map, or you just can't do it, and sometimes it's just really corrupted terribly, like minus 20 resistance, and also monsters penetrate your resistance, those are very scary. So you can be selling rare maps for more gold. Let me show you guys an example over here. So I have prepared 2 maps to show you guys. This is more towards the mid game. Once you have enough maps, like tier 50 maps is no longer a hassle. You can, of course, buy maps over here, which is the tier 40 maps. They cost 18,000. Definitely not worth it in the early game because it costs a lot of gold. Unless you have the gold, but you need the maps. But for us, most of the time, we might be needing the gold. So tier 50 maps in the white version cost about 500, sells for 500 gold. That is not a lot, right? So there are 2 methods I like to do. If it is a white map, I'll just alchemy it. And notice the gold went from 500 to 2,300. It went up over by 400% or 4 times the gold amount. Now, this is not a trick. Most players do know about this, but if you're selling maps, you really do want to sell them for the most gold. It might not seem a lot, but it actually really add up, as you're going to see later on. When selling over 50 different maps, you earn from like 50,000 gold to 200,000 gold because of this. Now, second to that, sometimes you might be finding maps that is a magic map. So let's pretend this is not a white map. Let's pretend this is a magic map so that I can't use alchemy on the right because it's a magic map. So what I like to do is I use augmentation and also regular orb to turn this map from about 500 into 2,000 gold worth of value, and then I can sell them. Now, this is not the biggest factor, but it will dramatically help you how much gold you earn. It is not worth it to exalt those maps because that's just too much expense for a little bit of gold. So you turn them into a rare map and they sell for 4 times more gold. And if it's a white one, you go with alchemy. If it is a magic one or blue one, you can use augmentation and also regular orbs. That is if you have the spare orbs. If you don't have the spare orbs, you might not want to do this. Because if you have spare maps and spare orbs, that's what you want to do. Now, we can also use omens for rare items and also rare vendors, which we'll talk about very soon. Now, In the later stage of the game, so we talk about the mid-game, in the later stage of the game, you might be looking into buying Castaway runs. Initially, a lot of us needing gold, and Castaway is one of the maps that is available after you unlock the Atlas. So, this is by far the most efficient way of buying and also selling runs, and also joining with other players on a big gaming Discord, maybe a gaming group or maybe a guild. And then once you message want to buy and also want to sell, players will be quickly filling up the party to a 5 or 6 man party for a run for Castaway, which is the example over here. So I want to teach you guys how to juice up Castaway, but let's talk about everything before this. You can see in this more juiced up Castaway, we have so much gold on the floor. Normally a player would earn about 400,000 to 600,000 gold. But with our correctly juiced up maps together with the Atlas, you're earning 1.4 to 1.8 or even 2 million gold in a run, and that is incredible. Now I'll show you guys the run and also method, of course. So, how would you want to find the runs? There's a few web methods. Let's have a look. Firstly, everything that's in-game can be found on the in-game trade channels. So if I come over here, enter the spacebar, start the chat box, you can see there's a trade channel. Sometimes there's a lot of spams. So currently I'm in trade channel 2. If you right-click this allows you to change the channel to trade. A lot of players like to trade on trade channel 820. Sometimes players like to trade on trade channels 1 and also trade channel 2. Those are the 3 channels I think most players use. And you can see there's a lot of players selling different items, buying different items, and sometimes even showing off. So this can work in the game, especially when there's a lot of players online at the time. I personally like to use a big Discord for Path of Exile 2. Now, I'm not trying to promote TFT, it's just the Discord I was introduced and it works very well for me to find more Castaway runs. It is not official Discord, it is a private Discord group, so keep that in mind. So for my runs, I'm only buying the gold runs, but my friend on the other side sells a lot of those runs for a lot of divines. You have no idea. He ended up over 500 divines in a week just by selling Castaway runs, which is why I want to explain to you guys how profitable it is and also how to do this and spill the secret, because not many people are doing this. So briefly having a look at finding Castaway runs. So I'll have the invite for the Forbidden Trove, the TFT POE Discord. And in that Discord, if you join and also assign roles, you can look into different services, looking for groups, carrying, and also hosting. For me, I favored this particular group called the Gold Hosting group. So players are selling Castaway runs, and they're selling a position for 1 to 2 divines, sometimes multiple divines for multiple runs. So you can quickly see, a player who finds 10 or 20 Castaway runs can be making 5 divine per run, and this really stacks up if you know what you're doing. The common runs are selling for about less than 1 divine and sometimes 1 divine, and while some really good runs are selling for 1.5 or 2 divine. So it's a good time to come over to this particular run. I paid one of my friends, who they added me because I buy so much gold, one of my gold selling friend, I paid him 2 divine for this run. And usually on average, I'm expecting to earn 700,000 gold per 1 divine, and that is my acceptable range. So you can see in this run, I'll teach you guys about the juicing. We're looking gold everywhere, and there's tons of gold at the end of the fight, in case you guys didn't know about this. So let me just see if I think we looted most of the gold. I was just running around. Can we do that little gold? I think we did. Did they blow the bomb? Okay, here it is. So once they blow the bomb, there's tons of more gold to be earned. And this is really one of the best ways to earn over 1 to 2 million gold within 5 to 10 minutes. It will cost you some currency, but for those of you that have a lot of currency, this is a great way to be finding more gold very quickly. And on the opposite, if you're looking for currencies, learn the following method into juicing up Castaway maps and also selling them will easily earn you 10, 50 or even 100 divine a day because of this method. So coming over here, the Castaway maps, they're quite convenient. As you're going to see in the other method, they're leveraging you with a resource, whether you're selling rare items, which you have to pick them up and also farm them, or whether you're selling maps, which you have to have spare maps and also some orbs to craft them. This particular method doesn't require you to have anything but currency. You can be paying players for about 1 divine for 750,000 gold. And a well-crafted map that is, well designed, or just a simple map will earn you 1.5 divine per player. And with 5 players, you're earning, 5 to 7.5 divines. So the example, we're going to have a look at the maps that sells for 2 divine. And this earns 1.8 to 2 million gold per map, which is tremendously popular. And a lot of players just earns tons of divines by doing this method. And not many players are doing this. Now, I really hyped up the Castaway method, but I want to give you guys a comparison before you say, hey Matt, isn't there other ways of making gold? So let's briefly have a look at Omen of Bartering and also Omen of Gambling, which are some of the new omens that can provide us with more gold, and also how that works. So there are 2 very interesting omens. And for the first omen, I actually recommend coming over to Bolton's video over here. He posted a while ago, and I think Bolton is a very experienced crafter. Crafting requires a lot of gold. That's right, I forgot to mention crafting requires tons of gold. So here he made the example. Just as a summary of the example he made over here, he was using Omen of Bartering and also selling his maps with Omen of Bartering and also without. He noticed that using 54 Omen of Bartering earned him 380,000 more gold because of using those. So he was selling 54 maps. So each of the Omen of Bartering costs about 4 Exalt, so he spent about 216 Exalt of investment together with 54 unwanted maps to earn about 500,000 gold, I believe, in that video. So if you guys want to check out the video, it is over here to have a look. Definitely a good example of other ways of earning gold. Luckily, you can buy Omen of Bartering from the exchange NPC and it is quite cheap. Sometimes items cost a lot to be exchanging. So 54 omens cost about 6,000 gold. So in return, the omens and also combinations is a great way of doing this. And if you guys do have the spare Exalt and you don't want to be running Castaway, this is definitely the second best alternative in getting more gold in the game by selling unwanted maps together with Omen of Bartering. You can use Omen of Bartering with rare items too, but they're too clunky. So you sell like 50 maps in a row, right? But for the items, you can only sell like 4 or 5. So it's not that efficient. So in comparison to the Omen of Bartering, now currently I'm making about 600 to 700,000 gold per divine. So I think the Castaway is a little more efficient because we don't need to be selling items. We don't need to craft those maps or buy omens. But second to that, let's look at another alternative. So this is quite interesting. Now, personally, I haven't tried it too much. I have had friends who've been gambling a lot. So, Omen of Gambling are those over here. They're selling for very cheap. They're selling for 6 of those omens for 1 Exalt. So I bought 2 of them just as a demonstration. Actually, I had to. I didn't buy them, because if I bought them, I would have like a bunch. So, how this works is, these have a 50% chance of not spending gold when buying. And let's mute the trade channel. Sometimes trade channel goes overwhelming. These have a 50% chance of not consuming your gold and also the omen when you're gambling. So that pretty much means you're gambling for free. So if you think, okay, I'm going to sell those just to get some gold. If you think you're going to be lucky with gambling, you can be pricing and also picking the most expensive item and then buying them for free. But there's a catch. 50% chance that you actually spend your gold and also take away this omen. I have 2 to try to show you guys, so I'm planning to buy Amulet. Some player likes to gamble for belt, but for me, Amulet have more potential of crafting, and also if I get a free 30,000 gold Amulet, it's quite nice, right? So let's try. Let's look at my gold, let's see what happens. For free! For free! For free! For free! Oh my gosh! Oh, okay, that's spent it. So it consumed 1 Omen of Bartering. So that was extremely lucky. I hit the 1 in, this is 1 in 2, 1 in 4, 1 in 8, 1 in 16 chance of not spending the Omen. Let's keep trying a little bit. For free? Okay, so that was 1 in 2. Okay, the second one was more fair. The first one was definitely outlier. So I spent about 60,000 gold to buy those amulets. Now, of course, buying those amulets doesn't give you the best reselling price. So I'm not saying this is the best way of earning gold, but this is the best way of saving gold if you're into gambling. I will look into gambling and what is the best item to gamble in the future videos, because I have so much gold, we can look into massive gambles. And you just saw the Omen was very powerful, right? And those Omens cost less than 1 Exalt. There's like 1 Exalt for 5 of them, or 6 of them. That's before people pick this up. So once we find a good item to gamble, we're definitely diving in with my 50 million gold. Now, one of the reasons I'm gambling amulets is for good amulets with a good base. Of course, it needs a good item level, and this is a decent base. And then I can be crafting on those bases. So the solar amulets is a really good base, and all attribute amulets are not bad. Stellar amulets, the spirit ones, and as a solar amulet, very, very good base. And then energy shield is also mana regen, strength. Those are like mediocre bases, but those two are very good bases we can start gambling. And this can be a very good way to start some very high-end item gambling and crafting. So one of the items I crafted and also centrified that did not work is this item. So you can see once we craft those into minion skills and also stuff, and this is not even the right base. So if I can get spirit and also minion plus levels, this can be selling for a lot of divines. Just a side note on gambling and also saving gold. So let's come back to Castaway, and I'm sure you guys were here for getting gold, not spending gold on gambling. Or maybe you are. So how do you juice up your maps in Castaway? Now, I do recommend follow an Atlas setup. I'm not saying my Atlas setup is the best one, but let's have a look at the one we have recommended over here. What did I do? Okay. What did I do? I think I clicked it, but I didn't click it correctly. Let's go back over here. I apologize for that. I need to fix this. So I have a new guide. So if you have seen our Headhunter Summoner, it is incredibly good. One of the best summoners I ever made and also ever played. In that particular guide, I have added the mapping atlas for the gold maps. This is my recommendation. I'm not saying this is the best one, and you can go with perks for Delirium. I don't think it changes much, but it's more focused on the atlas trait over here for the host. The person that opened the map should technically have something similar in terms of atlas. So what do we have? We have 25% more effect of the multipliers on the modifiers, which is very good. We have additional explicit multiplier effect. We have a lot of pack size, more monsters, more rare monsters. Everywhere we can, explicit modifiers on your waystones, more modifiers, and also more doubling effect on the tablets. 20% chance to double this. And this is how sometimes you can earn 2 to 3 million gold because of this. So nothing too special. This is a very straightforward gold making atlas passive. Now, I'm sure you guys may have a Ming and Max better one, but this is a good way to get started. So I adjust this link for you guys for this particular atlas under this particular build. And if you haven't seen the Headhunter build for the summoners, you're missing out. You gotta check it out. It is definitely a new meta and I'm loving it. I'm moving at 159.9% movement speed, over 140 because of all the auras and also hasted modifiers I've slowed. So, Castaway. Now, you can come across Castaway similar to other maps like the Untainted Paradise, Castaway. Those are maps that randomly spawns. It is kind of a unique map that spawns in the atlas. It is not super rare. It comes quite frequently as you path out correctly and also clear map fast enough. This particular map usually comes with its own special unique modifier that gives 500 to 999% more gold. We've seen over 1000%, but it's very rare. And this map only drops gold. And similarly, Untainted Paradise gives tons of experience that only gives experience. You can also sell Untainted and Untainted Paradise runs on different Discord, but it doesn't sell for a lot. But the gold run's selling for a lot. So, two methods of juicing up your Castaway maps. The first method is in crafting your waystone. The second method is in preparing your towers within range. This is actually quite straightforward. Now, if you have not seen our previous guide, we have a currency making guide, we have a ritual farming guide, a lot of guides. So in the ritual farming guide, we use the advanced method in crafting the waystones. This method follows the previous method, so I won't repeat that again, but if you want to see exactly what happens, I'll have a timestamp over here for you to follow the video link as a demonstration of how to craft those maps. So in summary, getting a waystone map and having 5 or 6 modifiers means you can use Chaos Orb and also Omen of Chaotic Quality. So I should have wrote Chaos Orb over here for clarity. So this will replace all the modifiers on the waystones with pack size. We want as much pack size as we can, because the monsters don't drop anything but gold in those maps. So we get a 6 modified maps, which you can use Exalt to get to 6 modifier, then use Omen of Chaotic Quality, activate this, and then use Chaos Orbs, and then this gives you tons of pack size. Then we'll be anointing this one with the Delirium Oils, and we want to anoint this with Diluted Liquid Guild, and this gives us even more pack size. If you look at this video, in this run, I did open a tab and you can see the start of the run, we're sitting on about 139% pack size, and this is not even maxed out. You also see this map have 114% increased gold because of the tablet, and also 973% increased gold. The tablet also amplified this by a multiplier, we believe, and it's actually huge. So there's also a hidden method in getting even more gold. With the introduction of Desecrated modifiers, which if you haven't seen that, in the previous video we talked about it, there's also a link that if you click over here, you take it over here to see all the Desecrated modifiers that will also give you pack size. Now, on top of pack size, there's a very special Desecrated modifier that also gives you Abyss Overrun. Compared to the previous guide when we talk about the rituals, so the ritual is this one, right? Yeah. The previous guide when we talk about rituals, you absolutely want to avoid this buggy modifier because it bugs out the ritual. Ritual does not spawn. But if you're playing the gold runs, you absolutely want to find this particular modifier because it gives you additional Abyss Pits and also additional monsters, and this means more gold. Just to show you guys an example, fortunately this particular demonstration came with Abyss Overrun, and we purposely crafted this, and this is why the map sells so much and also costs so much to run. So you can see as we run over here, there's Abyss Overrun, we're clearing out multiple Abyss Overruns, and just you can see the green dots on the screen. And this gives us more monsters to kill, a lot more gold on the everywhere. I'm just literally running around on the gold. And it's very fun to juice up the maps with so many pack of monsters, killing them for bonus gold. And I'm even getting bonus experience because of that. Experience is not the biggest part. So, coming back over here. The Desecrated modifiers, definitely recommending looking into it. Anything that gives you pack size is good, but if you can find areas overrun by Abyss, they also gives you the pack size and also the bonus monsters, which is the jackpot for crafting the map for crafting the waystones for the maps. Now, if you want to have a look at the demonstration in how to do the Desecrated modifiers, have a look at this video. It should be time linked over here. So that is pretty much it. Let's see. Okay. Now, one thing interesting to note, because this hidden method that came with the desecration mods, we had a comparison. I had a previous recording which I kind of lost because I was deleting all my files, which is very silly of me. In the previous recording, we had 4 powers overlay onto a map, and that map is correctly pack size Delirium crafted that give me 2 million gold in one map. So 2 million gold in 5 minutes. And the second one I have for you guys, I believe this one has 2 times towers. And as you can see in the modifier, the 2 times towers give us over 100% more gold, or increased gold in the area. This is from the tower influence. And the 2 times towers overlaid together with the Abyss Overrun modifiers give us 1.8 million gold. So it's almost close to a 3 tower or even greater than 3 tower. The 4 tower is like the epic gold amount you can get. So this really shows this additional modifiers is something that is quite hidden and that can be very good for finding additional gold. So it is quite important, guys, if you're crafting those waystones, try to have at least 1 revive. So what I mean by that is you can see revives available. You want to use maps with at least 1 or 2 revives available. So this means that if you, the host player or the other players die in the run, they don't lose all the gold. Because if you have no revives, if they die, they can't get gold anymore, and that's terrible. And if you're selling your runs, you gotta make sure people get their money towards, right? Now, tablet crafting. The previous guide on the ritual have some really extreme tablet crafting with center towers and also side towers. For the gold runs, it is very simple. You're just looking for the tablets over here, and the ones you're looking for are the 15% gold found. Everything else is a bonus. You can get anything you want, and we have a trade link over here. So, show you guys over here the trade link for the gold, and I filtered to 15%, which is the maximum. It's only 1 exalt, and you can search for something else, but it's only 1 exalt. It is surprisingly super cheap because no one's doing this much. And on top of that, you can take this further. So if you want to go extreme juiced up gold maps, you can take the pack size as well, but that is much more costly. So you can see once I search for this is 90 Exile. This is actually really cheap, but most of them are like 90, 100, 120. It is not that worth it, guys. Just get the 15% gold and you can get 3 tablets in each of the towers, which means 45% increased gold. And we do believe this is somewhat a multiplier to the existing gold amount. So you can see 45% per tower, with 2 towers is 90%, and with the right atlas, that is, where is the atlas? Okay, well, you guys know the atlas. So with the right atlas that was recommended, yeah, this is a wrong link. So with the atlas that's recommended, you should have even greater multipliers for your towers effect. Coming back over here. And that is pretty much for the tower run. So you just need as many towers that overlays and where are we? Apologize for clicking the wrong things. So in terms of the towers, you just need as many towers with 15% gold times 3. And if you can overlay 1 or 2 towers, that's great. And usually if you can have 1 tower, it's over 1 million gold. 2 towers gets you to close to 1.4 million gold, and 3 or 4 overlay towers gets you to close to 2 million gold because of this. Now, before I finish, and I do apologize for making such a long video, I wanted to make this quick, trust me, and I just want to share everything with you guys so you have the best method any stage of the game. If you're running Castaway runs, I recommend running in an outer circle, so I have this replay for you guys to have a look. You can see at the start, we wait for everyone. Important to wait for everyone because once the players start to loot, the other players are not in the map yet, they will lose the gold other players have looted. So you got to wait for everyone to get into the map before you start moving and look at all the gold. Once you start moving, go to the side or the edge of the map and run a full circle. And you can purposely avoid the boss as well, I'll tell you guys why, but you're basically running around to loot all the gold. And here I do recommend to have the least strict filter. So the loot filters will actually remove the gold you see on the floor. You can remove loot filters or have the basic loot filter. For mapping, I'm using more strict loot filters. But for gold farming, I'm using the minimum loot filters so I can be getting all the gold like you see over here. If you have a strict loot filter on, you'll lose a lot of gold. You lose 100,000 gold sometimes just because of the loot filter, because you don't see them. And yes, we talk about having at least 1 revive. Now, what happens when a player dies? So, if a player or any player dies before the boss is killed and there is revive, which means there's a number of revives on the map, there's available revives, they can revive instantly and there's no punishment. But if a player dies after the boss is killed, they must wait until the bomb is set and also exploded and the map shows completed to revive. Otherwise, this might bug out the map. This will bug out the map and no one gets any gold if they revive right after the boss is killed and they die, they revive, no one gets any gold. So, show you guys over here. Can I find the bomb? Yes. So let's have a look. Let's talk about how to place a bomb as well, in case you guys want to be hosting those maps and you don't know what's happening. You really don't want to miss it. So what you're doing is you're running around in the 4 corners and 4 different outer layers of the map to find 4 different interactive souls to release. They're next to the checkpoint. Once you release those souls will randomize in a point in the middle of the map and they will circle around in a random spot. You can see the green circles. It's a little harder to see with all the spams, but you can see there's kind of like a green circle as I approach over here. This indicates where you put the bomb. Now, I wasn't running the bomb, but you can see the circle and you can see the host player have put the bomb in the circle. When placing the bomb, it has to show up as green. If it shows red with a red line, that means you're not placing correctly. Make sure the bomb is in the circle, because if you mess up, you lose half of the gold. And once the bomb is set, the player that places the bomb has to click the bomb again for the bomb to react and explode. And once the bomb explodes, you'll get massive injection of gold and it shows the quest or the map is completed. So for any players dies after the boss, they have to wait for this to happen, then revive. And this way everyone gets all the gold. Now, it's very scary if the host dies after the boss is killed and the host revives before he can use the bomb or she can use the bomb. This will take away all the gold out of the map. So The host who holds the bomb needs to not die once the boss has died. Before that, anyone can die. So before the boss is killed, anyone can die. But if the host dies after the boss is killed and holding the bomb and the host dies, then if the host revives, all the gold is removed from the map and you get nothing. So how do you avoid this? As a host, if you want to be hosting Castaway, it is important to not die. Well, sometimes you can't help it. So one way what my friend like to do is once he get the bomb, he will run to the middle of the map or close to the middle when there's no monsters, make sure it's safe, and then he will drop the bomb by dragging the bomb out of the inventory. He's not placing it, guys, he's dragging the bomb and also dropping it. So not placing the bomb, dragging and dropping. He will drop the bomb in the middle of the map and then he go ahead to clear the rest of the map. So this way, if he dies, someone else can pick up the bomb, complete the map, and then he can revive. And once the map is completed, anyone that revives after that will not bug out, will not remove the gold. And this is the safest way for everyone to get all the gold. Now, there are some known bugs in Castaways. Sometimes if the map doesn't load or if the fog doesn't disappear, make sure the host relog, or maybe just wait a little bit for that to figure itself out. And it is the known bug in 0.3, 1 out of 50 maps or 1 out of 30 maps just bugs out. And the tower disappears, the tower stops having effect, and sometimes the map disappears. Sometimes the map doesn't load. So it is possible to bug it out, and it's very costly, because each of those maps is earning the host 5 to 10 divines if you've done this correctly. So that summarizes everything related to making gold in the game, and this is how I made 50 million gold in 2 days. So I also shared this particular run, and I did show what modifiers and also what is available in this map. And I didn't get to show how much gold I had at the time at the very start, but after running it, like I think I ran like, how long did I run for? I think I ran a little bit. Let me see if I can find the moment. I did try to check my inventory after I started running a bit. I was like, hey, hold on a minute. I should show you guys how much gold I have. So, okay, it's here. So here, after running for like 2 minutes, 1 minute into the map, looting a lot of gold, I'm sitting on 32 million gold, 32.2 million gold. And you can see at the end of the fight, which everyone actually records how much gold we earned, I'm sitting on 33.7 million gold. So we actually earned about 1.8 million gold in that run, but because I didn't show the inventory at the start, you don't get to see all the gold. So this is one run that made me 1.8 million gold. And I'll show you guys the full recording. You can see it's just me looting around using my headhunter build, which is very fun. And you also see how I loot the gold. Nothing too special, but it shows you how to run them around smoothly and how we clear the map very effectively to earn a lot of gold. Now, for those of you that have great tips and other guides, you can share with me and we can share with everyone in a written form or in a video form. So don't be shy in contacting me to share with the community. And for those of you that want to contact me, it is available over here. You can follow the instructions or you can send me a message onto Discord. Thank you for watching, and if you have any tips, you can share in the comments as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Now, hopefully you guys found today's video helpful. Again, a big thank you to everyone on YouTube, especially our supporters, and also those of you guys who's been supporting me on Patreon as well. And we do have a new feature on the Majestic YouTube channel. If you click onto this, you can become a member. Yes, I've added this just recently, and this will allow you to have early access to videos that is posted a few hours or even half a day earlier if you want to watch those videos a little early. But yes, this will cost money. So please be aware the membership will cost money. And if you do want to watch videos normally, those videos will still be available after 6 to 12 hours, normally on the time we post those videos. And I'll be aiming to post at least one Path of Exile video a day. And this will be including guides, tips, news update, and also the latest tricks that is discovered on both the English and also Chinese community to keep you guys updated. And if you like those videos, make sure you leave a nice comment and also leave a like for those videos. Now, before we finish, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so because I'll be looking into the latest Path of Exile 2 news on different communities and also on our official forum, official webpage. I'll also be looking into the best build for each of the class as the meta develops with the Chinese and also the English community. So stay tuned for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And of course, this is gonna be a big month for us. And I'll try to bring you guys all of the latest content and also guides for Path of Exile 2 to come.